So this slide, you can go ahead and read why it's important. So the hotness is basically the chemical property, right? The cooling rate is the process, right? And these over here is the microstructure, right? So oftentimes I always joke around that when I was traveling abroad, doing my PhD, my mom once gave me a beef noodle soup recipe, secret recipe of making a exquisite beef noodle soup. So he gave me this noodle soup recipe, right? So you know, my mom always made very delicious these kinds of beef noodle soup. So when I traveled to the USA, I followed this ingredient, this secret recipe, right? Follow this process, right? And I was hoping that this exquisite beef noodle soup that tastes so great, its properties, its performance is excellent, it tastes so nice, it feels really at home. I thought this was sweet, and when I made it, it tastes horrible. It tastes like, I'm not going to use the S word, but we're recording the record, so I'm not going to use any F word or S word because we're recording right now. So it was horrible. So later I found, because when I look at these noodles and I look at the beef, its microstructures is where I notice is that the noodle I bought is spaghetti. It's not udon. Second is the beef that we use in Taiwan, the textures is completely different in the USA and Taiwan because how the cow is being fed. Over here, the cow over here is huang niu, yellow cow. Is that the right terminology? But in the USA, those cows, they're not designed for doing like a broth, like a beef noodle soup. So it tastes horrible. So when I look at the textures of these beef, I realize the microstructure. I realize, oh, we have some trouble right now. So again, the process, microstructures, and the property relationship, and same as the elements of the beef noodle soup, the secret ingredient recipe. All right. So why powder technologies? This is from a material engineering perspective. I think for the following invited instructors that come along and talk, they will spend a lot of time talking about it. But here I list a lot of stuff from the intrinsic properties, how you can shape out the microstructures, the composite, because the powder you can mix A, B, the size, distributions, and the morphology, all of these, and most of it in additive manufacturing, and etc. all influence. So powder is a theme that is everywhere. Okay, so you might feel that, is it true? So this is why I give you, a real applications, right? So abrasives, CFP, pigment filler, catalyst, pharmaceutical, food, agriculture, and consumer product, right? So I don't really have to express the importance of powder. When we think about powder, it's not really when we talk about powder ecology, right? It's more also that include pharmaceutical, like medicines. So when we take these tablets, like yesterday I just went to the doctors to get some, medicine, drugs, right? These pills, they put powders, right? You can see these little circular thing, right? It's also being pressed, right? So it's the same. Instead of using, well, actually these are ceramic powder as well, right? But these are organic, like in our lab also fabricate pellets, right? These pellets. So these pharmaceutical are also involved in powder, right? So over here, also consumer products like milk, coffee, spice, flour, protein, beans, they are all also powder, right? So I think it is important to kind of step out the window to realize that powder is everywhere, okay? And it's not from just doing the engineering aspect. There's a lot of stuff we need to do. So catalysts as well, we also have paint that involve pigments. So when we say pigments, we're meaning that we're adding some, powders inside that make up the pigment. Maybe we need to dye the powder into different colors as well. So we have red, blue, green, yellow, and all. All right. So moving forward here is what we call call CMP. So I think you might ask me powder. When I say this class is called powder technology, it's not really, when you put it in a category, it's not really in what we so-called traditional industrial, conventional, conservative industrial, old, manufacturing, like we do old-fashioned. No, actually, it can be also very high-end technology involving semiconductors. But here is a great example where you have a wafer, you need to do polishing. So that also involves that you have to make slurries. So these slurries are consist of aluminum oxide or silicon oxide with liquid solvents as well. So you polish your wafer, right? Or for example, like my iPhone over here, it has a mirror-like surface, right? So how did this occur? It's through process of polishing. So how do we polish? We need some ingredient that involves a slurry, right? So over here, you can see we have slurry based on. So when we think about, is there powder? Yeah, there's also powder. Right? Does the powder, what's the particle distribution, what is the size, does that influences? Yes, all this also taken matter, right? So over here, more of conventional, traditional side, we have tribologies and abrasives. So on the left-hand side, this is sharp peening. So sharp peening, and then we have sandblasting. So all of this also involved in the family of what we call cold spray, thermal spray, the spray family. So it's a spray family. It also includes sharp peening, sandblasting, right? Or sand, etc. stuff, right? So all of this involved where we have powders that's coming out from the nozzle, where we control its particle velocity. At the same time, if we can, we also control its pressure and temperature, right? So these are the critical aspects of how we control to determine what sort of end application it is. Simply said, if you look at this, the sharp peening and sandblasting, why are they called sharp peening and sandblasting? Why are they not cold spray, cold spray, or thermal spray, or perhaps plasma spray? Why? Well, there's a lot of things that determine its final application technologies, right? As I already mentioned, because of the speed, because pressure, or because the additional added functions. You can see sharp peening is shooting out powder. What if today I try to accelerate its speed, make it even faster? Oh, that's cold spray, right? Sandblasting, again, sandblasting and sharp peening, typically they have a powder that's in millimeter size. They have huge particle size, right? So if we try to shrink these particles into more smaller content, that also will be called cold spray. All right, so there's a lot of things going on, right? Hopefully I've convinced you that powder is everything, right? So term paper overview, this is important. So again, you might feel a little bit frustrated or feel impatient about this, but I think this is important since we're spending 70%. This is the 70% of your grade. So that's the most important part, right? So 70% of your grade is a half-page proposal, 10% list of 6 references outline, and then so term paper is the final is at 30%, right? So the term paper can be on any powder technology topic that involves review summary of research, case study from international, blah, 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 blah. So all of this is review, okay? You read something, and then you put this content from you, right? So there was some student last year when I was asking them to do such a thing is they basically just copy this paragraph from over here to over here. Okay, that's not a review, that's plagiarism, right? That's 抄袭. Okay, so please do not be immature or childish of doing such a thing. Nowadays we have these sensors functions that detect. So not only about plagiarism that you write your stuff, right? They also check your creativity or what we saw innovation. So let me put it this way. So for example, for your thesis, your research results, if this A student did a temperature, same machine, but use the same temperature, 100, 200, 300. Another student come along, do the same thing, and then he do 400, 500, and 600. and the objective are the same. Is this plagiarism? That is a yes. So basically that somewhat fit into a content of a very narrow plagiarism. Basically, the idea is all the same. They only change the temperature-wise, right? In Taiwan, I don't think they say plagiarism is about the creativity or innovation part, right? So there's some kind of there's a number that shows. So again, I encourage you, like you're doing master right now, do your work, okay? So here's the F. So half-page proposal. So the half page is meant to help me to assess the suitable topic by briefly discussing the problem. So it's really less than a page. I can show you what it like. So why is the topic important? So in this half-page proposal, you tell me why is it important? Why do I care? What is the basic method? What's the method they do their research? What's the tool? And what are the potential sort of outcomes? So you have to be a salesperson to convince me, right? Does that make sense? So everybody can say we're doing research, but sometimes when you pitch the wrong tone, I feel like you're doing garbage, right? It is the thing, right? I write proposals all the time and I get reviewer, and reviewer say, yeah, this is a garbage. It is true. Your feeling get hurt, and then you stand up and then you rewrite and make it attractive, right? What make a proposal attractive? That's your job. So start writing. All right? There's a saying that Rome doesn't build by a day, right? So what you guys is writing doesn't. You guys really have to write. When I saw my graduate student writing, honestly, it's very. Sometimes once a lot of times when I read, I need to take a break. So I think it's good for all of you guys. Start writing right now so that you don't give headache to your advisor later on. Start practicing. Does that make sense? Right? So I will give you feedback to help you along the way. Right? List of 6 references. So the list of 6 references is meant to assure you that you have significant background material to write on the proposed topic. So you must also write a short paragraph explaining why each reference is relevant or telling this is important. This isn't so I'll tell you how you write. So this references you are citing, you need to also give me a sentence, 2 or 3 sentences, explaining me why you are citing, right? Telling me why. So do not tell me that this is important. 这个很重要，所以我需要你用。我操，这个在 so yes. So I think again, this is you have to be professional. You're an engineer, right? So be persuasive, all right? Again, like if you walk into a automobile center, if you want to buy a car, right? The salesperson, the agent doesn't come to you and tell you like, hey, this car looks fantastic. Yeah, good, buy it, go, good. What in the heck are you doing, right? This is that's not a salesperson thing, right? So tell me why you're saying, right? Grading for this is very binary. Again, all of these 3 are very binary. If you submit, you get the entire point, okay? Once you submit, it doesn't matter what's the content or the quality wise. If you submit, you get the entire point, right? So binary means either 4 point or no point, right? Potential resources like over here from where you're going to do your assignments. So outline form the skeleton of your own paper. If done well, the actual paper will be easy. Just fill in the section. When I say outline, meaning that you have an introductions, right? So I have these format I can give you. Just follow the format. I'll show you a little bit later. But I want to quickly show one outline. When I say outline, there's introductions, and then there is the method, all right, and then the results, the discussions, and conclusions. So these basically make up the entire literature review. Does that make sense? Grading again, binary. If you submit it, you get the entire points. All right. So your outline must follow the template posted on Moodle and include an abstract. So this is important. It must include. It must be. Do not be creative. Again, this is not an art class. This is engineering class. You strictly follow the rule. All right. No creative. When I ask you to be creative, then you be creative. Right. So all of our so this is when you do your writing, it's supposed to be like this. All right, you have an introduction, so the technical depth, the depth, you know, the paper you has introduction where you give me some background, okay, well, what's going on, why should I care, you know, and then once you in the middle of this content, right, is the very deep stuff, and then some in conclusion very concise, right, very straightforward, telling me what's the finding, right? So it's like so easy. Paper should start with the easy content to understand. So you shouldn't at the beginning start throwing in a lot of jargons. Right? For example, last two semesters of Facebook, some people they do a lot of modern static transformations, right? So at the beginning of the paragraph, they start telling me about modern static transformations. 110 coincide with 1102, and this blah 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 blah. I'm completely lost. So this is important. Second, paper should get progressive, more technical as it goes on, more deep as it goes on. All right. Paper should end with easy to understand conclusion. So I should be able to see the beginning and end very easily, very attractive, right? And then I start reading. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. But once you start writing, nothing makes sense. All right. So this is a career. I would say you have to devote it. Right? I did not force you to do master's degree, but it's your job that you have to do. So nobody write in perfect writing. Sometimes I spend a day writing nothing while I'm sitting in front of my desk. Sometimes I write a lot. I also struggle. But how do you make it better? Is you being rigorously dedicated of what you're doing every day. Discipline, right? Discipline. Do you guys know discipline? What do you? Not discipline, only. Wow. Sometimes when I'm a little bit worried, so for the international students, you guys are really fine, but sometimes when I use some terminology, I'm afraid you guys don't really understand. All right, so term paper. All right, so what I'm asking when you write a term paper, please do not give me like a 20 or 50 page. I really don't want to read like a 20 or 50 page. So please help me, save me. So just write 10 to 12 page. That's, so please do not submit a 10 page that's a 9 page, or do not submit a 12 page that's 15 page. I just want to be 10 to 12. All right, use the template. Reference must be cited accordingly. So reference page do not count as 10 to 12. So when I say the reference I said it was 6 or 7, right? So you can do more references, it's up to you, right? Right for your audience, so you try to pitch tone a very attractive stuff that you're doing. So please do not start writing some kind of Confucius novel. I do not want to read Confucius novel. You know what's a Confucius novel? 我不想看孔子书，你不要写得像孔子哦。OK， 叫什么孔曰成人孟曰群，我不想要看那种东西哦。所以 please write very attractively that why should I care? But that's your job, right? So grading again, it's total about 70 points, but so this term paper is how much the term paper cost? So the term paper basically is 30%, right? So out of 100 total, and over here, basically we start with 100, right? So 10 points about grammar. So grammar is important. I checked the grammar. So for those domestically writing English, I suggest you once you finish writing, you should get to your colleagues, international colleagues, and ask them, hey, can you read this? Does it make sense? What's your feeling about it? So in my research group, we also have some international colleagues, right? I oftentimes ask them, once you write something really terrible, horrible, and I ask the colleague to my students to read it and help you with it. So each of you guys, if you know someone, you should ask them. I shouldn't do it. Once they come to me, I'm going to grade. 10 points, figure quality. I'll talk about that. So figure quality is important. Do not try to use something that's very vague, fuzzy, that I cannot see. I will get very stressful and angry. 20 points, follow template and clinical instructions. 20 points, the instruction is, again, very important, all right? Again, I have to say, follow the instructions, all right? 60 points about the content, all right? Great, so that's one. So, this is the last page, the figure qualities and messages, right? So, a figure worth, on the right-hand side, a figure worth 1,000 words. However, that figure will also destroy everything. So, what this means is that oftentimes when you write a paper or term paper, when you use a great figure. Figure meaning an image. It explains everything. However, if you use a terrible images that I have no idea whatsoever, it destroys everything, right? So this over here is an image that I already published from one of the people I wrote. Over here basically detail what exactly the Causeway and stuff. So I have taken the liberty of marking everything what this is. So this is basically without giving any content, a schematic of a construction of a Causeway system, right? So I have everything like this, and then this is very clear that you see a nozzle that's shooting or something like that. So an image is important. It's like reading a story, right? You have some pictures, that how you attract your children to start reading, right? Picture is most important, right? So how do you get the right picture images? Sometimes there's a trick that you have to learn. There's also some experience. Does that make sense? Question? Yeah, so this is the message, okay? All right, so last stuff. So, term paper. So this is the, let me show you the outline of the, So the first you need to submit is the half-page proposal, right? So that includes this and includes that as well. So this is the half-page proposal. You put a title. What's the title you plan to write, right? And then your name, right? And then which department you're in. I assume everybody is in the mechanical department, but if you're not, please change that to half-page proposal, right? So you write a half-page. So when I say half-page, you mean literally a half-page, not write 2-page, right? So again, let me give you a half-page proposal workbook. So I done this before. Let me give you. I will also upload this a little bit. So previously I was writing the intensity of Chinese blue purple pigment using non-destructive testing method, right? So pigment, right? To do with powder, right? And also correlate with non-destructive testing. So this is me, and this is when I was at the do, right? So half-page proposal, right? So this is like half-page, right? Right? So the content is split a lot, but you can do a little bit less. That's fine. So half-page, so I can assess that a little bit later, right? So I will upload this and the example as well, right? So after that, then you start putting out the references, right? So the references. So this is the reference, right? Sorry, this is the term. So this is the reference template. You can see that. Again, title, name, the department references. I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom, 6, right? So these format, you should just delete this and write the references. And then this is a 1 to 3 sentence explaining why you do the citation, right? Right? Does that make sense? So I also have a example. Right, so again, over here, this is an example that you can follow. Again, the title, name, school, references. Over here, 1, right? So this is follow the IEEE format. Again, IEEE format. There's different format you can do. So you can see the name. Over here, they cited the journal value, the page. So follow the I explicit IEEE. Okay, there's different format. And then over here, I gave you a brief sentence describing why I do citation. Right? So 1, 2, 3. So you can see this paper talk about examination of Chinese blue, purple with different apparatus, example, blah 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 blah. So I think spend some time reading how I convince the audience why I am citing these papers. Okay, does that make sense? So do you guys have 6? So minimum is 6. If you want to do 7 and 8, that's fine. All right, good. All right, so let's close this. The reference. So now comes along the outline. So what is the outline look like? Let me show you the outline. This is the outline. So the outline template is, again, this is a same thing, you fill up all the information. At this time, you should have an abstract. So write an abstract for that. And then you have sections, right? So section 1, 2, 3. And then you have subsection 1.1, 1.1, 1.2. Does that make sense? So sections is typically where you put intro, right? Intro, material method, and then result and conclusion, and then finally like a summary. All right? So same typical format, how you write a paper, we say we do the outline, right? So the outline is filled, and let me give you an example of what supposedly is an outline supposed to look like. So this is an outline. Again, you have an abstract over here, right? And in the background here, all I need is you tell me what is each of the sections, what you plan to write. So section is what I say background, right? So you don't have to call introduction, you can call background. And then 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 2, external material method, archaeology samples, introductions, optical microscopy, scanning, electron, blah, 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 blah. And then 3 of it use a non-material result discussion, right? So at this point right now is you just have to tell me what exactly all these outline, these context. 2.1 是被1、2、2、3、你到底要写什么? So each of these are very clear, right? So like conclusion or something like that. All right? Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions? The only reason why we are spending so much time on this is that I want to make sure this goes very smoothly. All right? So finally, the term paper is once you submit the outline, then you start writing the term paper, right? 因为 outline 就是说你这每个纲领结构你要写什么，然后接下来就fill in the content inside each of these sections, right? So you have the abstract, section 1, section 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1.2, and then over here, this is how I do my, you're supposed to strictly follow the paper rules, okay? Do not be creative, all right? Again, over here, the content, and then how I put my picture like this, which will be the same, blah, 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 blah. All right, so let me give you an example of what my term paper actually looked like at the end. So this is my final paper. So we have an abstract background, and then you put A, C, figure 1, blah, 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 with reference over here, right? Reference, and then 1.2, and then A, C, blah, 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 blah. So all of this has nothing to do with the experimental stuff that we're doing. This is just purely a literature review, right? Good. So nothing that I cook in the lab. Okay. So all this is literature review. So what I am saying is that once you wrote this, once you finish writing this, you can put this in your thesis. in the literature review. Okay, so it's not really wasting your time, right? It's a win-win situation. Okay, so a lot of like things like that, you know, we hear very clear, right? So these are very smooth, you know, right? And then so I actually cited eight references, right? So you can do 10, 11, you know, minimum 6, 7. Okay, are you guys clear? Any questions so far? 各位大家有没有问题啊？ No? Are you sure? Good? Everybody's good? If we don't, we will see you guys next week the same time, and I'll start talking about some intro about spray, and then the following week we will have another invited instructor come along and talk about power technology. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's classes. If you have any questions, please stay and then come to me later or anytime you guys feel comfortable. All right. So I'll see you guys next week. All right. Take care.